You know that feeling, right? You walk into a place, maybe a park, maybe just down the street, and boom, you hit that wall of smoke.
Oh, yeah,
And you end up coughing or the smell just clings to your clothes all day. It's not pleasant.
not at all.
So today we're doing a deep dive into banning smoking in public areas. We're looking at the arguments, the evidence, specifically the impact it has, beyond the actual smoker.
Right.
Our mission really is to unpack the facts, why this is less about just personal choice and more about public health for everyone. Okay, let's get into it. What's the core reason?
Well, the core is definitely secondhand smoke. And what's really striking, maybe even shocking to some, is how serious it is.
How serious are we talking?
Okay, so the Manitoba Medical Association, for instance, they've cited it as the third leading cause of preventable death.
Third, wow. After what?
After active smoking itself and alcohol. So it's right up there. We're talking about something that's actively killing non-smokers.
That's pretty staggering.
It is, and it's because that smoke, it's just loaded with harmful stuff, over 4,000 different chemicals.
4,000.
Yeah, and get this, at least 50 of those are known carcinogens, things that cause cancer. We're not talking minor irritants here. These are, heavy metals, really toxic compounds.
Okay, so that really puts it in perspective. Let's dig into that a bit more. What are the specific health risks for adults breathing this stuff in?
Yeah, the list is unfortunately quite long.
I'm at it.
For adults, you're looking at a significantly higher risk of heart disease. It can even make your arteries stiffer, basically aging your cardiovascular system faster. And chronic respiratory diseases are a big one too.
Like asthma or bronchitis getting worse.
Exactly, or developing them. And then there's cancer. People think lung cancer, obviously.
Right, that's the main one associated with smoking.
But with secondhand smoke, the links also include breast cancer, cervical cancer, even nasal sinus cancers, plus strokes and higher risk of miscarriage for pregnant women. It's really extensive.
So these aren't minor things. These are potentially fatal conditions for people who never even lit a cigarette.
Precisely. And if that's the impact on adults, think about children. They're even more vulnerable.
Oh, yeah, that's a whole other level of concern.
Yeah.
What are the risks there?
It's heartbreaking, honestly. We see direct links to SID's sudden infant death syndrome.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And if a mother is exposed during pregnancy, there's a risk of fetal growth impairment. For young kids, much higher rates of severe things like bronchitis, pneumonia, and triggering or worsening asthma.
That makes sense. Their lungs are still developing.
Absolutely. And another common one is middle ear disease, those recurrent ear infections, often linked to inflammation caused by the smoke. It can even lead to hearing issues down the line. The impact on kids is just immense.
So when you put all that evidence together,
hmm
what's the bottom line? What does this mean for smoking in public spaces?
Well, the argument that comes through really clearly from the sources is this. Smoking is a personal choice, yes. But the consequences aren't purely personal. They spread out. Someone choosing to smoke accepts certain health risks, maybe even deadly ones.
Right. That's their decision.
But should a non-smoker be forced to accept those same risks just because they're sharing a public space, like a park or a restaurant patio or just walking around?
Yeah, that's the critical question.
And that's why you see so many places, countries, cities, bringing in laws to ban public smoking. They're acknowledging that distinction between a private choice and its public health impact.
So wrapping this deep dive up, the main takeaway seems pretty clear. The push to ban smoking in public areas isn't arbitrary. It's based on some really solid, compelling health evidence.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's fundamentally about protecting people who don't smoke, especially kids and other vulnerable groups. It's drawing a line for public health.
Right. And maybe this leaves you, our listener, with a question to think about. We accept that choosing to smoke means choosing to expose yourself to serious, often deadly diseases. So the question really becomes, what's the justification for imposing that same risk, even a portion of it, onto people who didn't make that choice, just because they happen to be in a public area? It really highlights that tension between individual freedom and the need to protect everyone's health in shared spaces, something to consider.